Working for you. A weekly talk radio program which highlights developments of national interest and the activities of your St. Kitts Nevis government. Join host Lesroy Williams as he presents news, views, reports, and interviews about everything regarding the activities of the Team Unity government and the building of our communities and the development of St. Kitts Nevis. Tune in and call in to interact with your government and share your views regarding the upward forward development of your community and our beautiful Twin Island Federation. Working for You is weekly, every Wednesday live from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on ZIZ Radio, Win FM, and Sugar City FM with rebroadcast on participating stations. Working for You.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of our program, Working for You, which is a production of the St. Kitts Nevis Information Service. My name is Jacqueline Bryan. I'm sitting in for Mr. Lesroy Williams, who usually would host the show, but he's on vacation. This program is also streamed live on Facebook. Yes, on Facebook. So if you have a Facebook account, you can sign in and look for SKNIS Media, and you can view the entire program live every Wednesday. It airs on Wednesdays from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. The Department of Youth Empowerment has organized a range of events geared at celebrating young people, their achievements, and their potential. Youth Month, which is designated in November, is held and celebrated annually, and this year's theme is encouraging our youth to soar for much more. On today's program, I'm joined by officials from the Youth Empowerment Department, and they will be promoting Youth Month activities and encouraging young people to turn out in their numbers to participate in a host of activities that has been tailored just for them. My special guests today are Acting Director at the Youth Empowerment Department, Pierre Liburd, and Junior Youth Officer, Sharon Cannonier, and they are joined by Anastasia Elliott, who is the co-founder of Sugartown Wishlist, and she's here to talk about a special part of Youth Month that she'll be coordinating. So, good afternoon. Welcome to Working for You.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. A special focus of Youth Month this year is the Global Entrepreneurship Week. So just to be specific, that is the area Anastasia Elliott, who is the co-founder of Sugartown Wishlist, will be speaking about. Now, before we get into the activities for Youth Month and all the events that they have slated, I'll stick a pin in that conversation and ask Mr. Liburd to tell us about the mandate of the Youth Empowerment Department and some of the activities that they've held in the past. Mr. Liburd.
Oh, good afternoon, Jackie.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to your listening and viewing audience. It's a pleasure to be here. And happy Youth Month. And as you say, we're celebrating under the theme, empowering our youth to soar for much more. And that is at its core the mandate of the Department of Youth Empowerment, to ensure that we have an enabling environment where young persons could achieve their highest potential, and to develop policy, which you're very well aware of, and programming and coordinate with our various stakeholders, mobilizing resources and setting up appropriate strategies to ensure that all the gaps that and challenges that face young people, that young people face, are dealt with as efficiently and effectively as possible, to allow for as many young persons as possible to reach their true and highest potential.
So what are some of the activities the department has hosted in the past?
Well, we have hosted a number of activities, some at different intervals and some more consistently throughout the year. One of those being the 25 Most Remarkable Teams, which form part of the Youth Month activities. I must mention that it takes place this year on the 16th in the House of Parliament. And that program engages stakeholders across St. Kitts and Nevis, be it parents, young people, shopkeepers, police officers, whomever. We invite them to...
Well, you know, we're going to talk about that program more in depth as we go through the calendar of events.
So I should hush me more.
No, you should use this opportunity to highlight some additional areas.
Okay, we have summer camps, Easter camp, reading camps, group capacity development, a number of different things. Yeah, entrepreneurship training, and a host of other things. And we engage young persons, build their capacity, addressing the social issues, anger management, problem solving, conflict resolution. We partner with police and so forth and other stakeholders to get these initiatives out to the young people.
Now, I know that youth organizations can register with the department. Tell me under what criteria, and how many are registered to date, and give me an example of what types.
Well, if you're a group of young persons of common interest in serving your community in whatever capacity, environmental, creative, artistic, spiritual, sports, as long as you have an interest that is positive, and you pull together persons, at least 10 to 15 persons, similar mindset, and you want to organize to come together, we welcome you to register at the Department of Youth Employment, and we try and keep you in the loop as to what opportunities are available, and try and provide wherever capacity development that we can to help you grow and strengthen and build your own ability to effect those changes that you see being necessary in your community.
And how many groups do you have
at this point?
35.
Registered.
And what are some of the different types of groups?
Yeah, various different groups. I think I mentioned them. Those in the creative arts.
So you can be community-based,
yeah.
Faith-based.
Yeah. As long as you serve young persons and it's predominantly youth that make up the group, we do not discriminate.
So it doesn't have to be a group of young people. Can it be adults who have a program for young people?
I will consider you a partner. You're not necessarily.
Understandable. So these are the groups you would have reached out to for Youth Month activities. But it's not limited to youth groups only.
No. Youth Month is a celebration of young people, a celebration of the youth of St. Kitts, and we invite not only young people, the department, the groups, but every citizen, visitor, whoever stands on the soil of St. Kitts, we invite you to celebrate the young people of St. Kitts.
So we can now go back to Youth Month.
And even if you're not on the soil too, everybody.
We can go back to Youth Month now and talk about all the exciting activity that you have planned. And I say exciting because I think that the lineup is really creative and it offers a variety of things. So you must be into at least one thing on the lineup this year. It started on November 1st, I believe, and you had a church on the 29th of November, because that would have been the Sunday, October, sorry. That would have been the Sunday. And like we usually do it here, we began with a church service, like we do it in St. Kitts and Nevis, and that was held at the Calvary Baptist Tabernacle in Sandy Point.
Yes.
How did that go?
Splendid. Yeah, it was a very good experience. It was fun, it was enriching, and all of that. It was a very nice experience, and Miss Cannonier stole the show with a very nice rendition of a song that I think they might try to get her to
sample, maybe, Miss Cannonier? No? Next show?
Next show.
November 4th was supposed to be Youth Service Day, and I see you have another one scheduled for the 11th. What is that about?
That is a day that we invite youth organizations to identify an issue in the community that they could address using the capacities available to them and the resources available to them. And as the ad says, flag it and tackle it. It's a sports reference. Yeah.
So what does that mean to
it means
the non-sportsy people?
I ain't there to it. But it's to encourage young persons to, as a group, as an organization, to assess their surroundings and identify issues that they see needs addressing. For example, the neighborhood ain't look too pretty in certain parts. It needs some painting. You need some tree cutting down. You need the street lamps freed up, or some garbage removed from a certain particular area. Something that would benefit the entire community, but it doesn't take a whole lot of resources to actually get it done. But for some reason it's not being done. We invite those young persons to identify issues like that and go out and start your legacy.
So this is where youth groups would take the initiative, or young people would just take the initiative and identify a need in their communities and just do it.
Yeah, and it's to build the experience, build the repertoire, build the momentum, and to actually get a problem solved, and to demonstrate to the community and wider society that young people are not just there to loaf around, but we're capable, and you could actually address issues that impact not just young people, but the wider community.
Okay. Now tell me about this high school cook-off on the 9th. That will be tomorrow, Friday. What is that about?
Well, it's about engaging
But
our
it's
young.
clearly about a cook-off. But if you can tell me, let me be more specific. If you can tell me about the format for that.
Okay. Well, the intention of it, first of all, is to try and engage those young persons who are not necessarily anymore, should I say, famous areas of activities, be it entertainment now, which is growing over the past years, sports, which has had a strong following and showing young persons in those areas, those particular areas get a lot of attention, traditional academics and so forth. So we try to encourage or provide a platform for other young persons who have skills in other areas to shine and to be so celebrated by their peers in society. So hence the cook-off, which is only a part of the overall high school chef competition. So the cook-off happens tomorrow, and it happens simultaneously at every participating high school. They would have 3 teams of 2 chefs from any class. They make that determination at their school. And they have to prepare a 3-course meal and a signature dish within 2 hours. Did I say dish?
Yeah.
A 3-course meal and a signature drink within 2 hours. And it's highly competitive. It's very creative. Those young persons would have submitted their menus already that they would have designed in conjunction with their teachers. And starting 9 a.m. tomorrow, they're going to be setting up, and from 10 they begin cooking. And if last year and the years prior, any indication of what we should expect, they'll be quite delicious and nice to look at too. I know I was at Sadler's last year now. As good as they smell good, they look good. I was afraid to touch it, but ultimately I was pleased that I did because everything was delicious. And ultimately, the winners from that level of the competition went on to compete against the winners from the various high schools at the chef competition.
No, this is the high school chef competition on the 23rd of November.
Yes, ma'am.
And that takes place where?
Boys. Old boys school. I tend to get mixed up. But it's the old boys school.
It's a lot of events to remember.
On Victoria Road.
And that begins at 9:30 a.m. Is it open to the public?
Yes, yeah. We invite the public to come around and support. It's free of cost. You just come in, don't make no noise. I know you're going to be all excited to support your particular school, but don't disturb these young professionals. Just come and sit in the back and quietly cheer them on.
Who is the winner from last year?
Charles E. Mills Secondary School.
Charles E. Mills.
Yes, ma'am.
And that school is a very determined school. They don't let go of titles so easily, I'm told.
I hear so too.
So I anticipate a keenly contested competition come the 23rd. How long has the competition been going on for?
Several years. Almost 10. Yeah, I believe it's almost 10.
And just to share some of the rules of the competition, it says here that these general rules apply to both stages of the high school chef competition. And just to give you an idea, each competing team will comprise of 2 students currently enrolled and in good standing at the respective school. Teams of 2 may agree to assume a lead and support role. Participants must be in place by 9 a.m. to commence the preparation of their workstations, and the competition begins promptly at 10. 2 hours will be allotted for the completion of all relevant tasks. All courses must be properly plated by midday. Cooking area should be reasonably clean. In time for lunch, yes. So cooking area should be reasonably clean for the duration of the competition. Each team will have 5 minutes allocated to the cleanup of its cooking area. All courses must be prepared using the ingredients provided. No extra seasonings, special sauce, or other ingredients will be allowed. Each school will supply all cooking utensils and other dishware, that is pots, pans, cutlery, cooking boards, and dishcloths. Anything to be used in preparation and presentation of the culinary works of art. No team will receive additional time, regardless of any mishap or accident that may occur. This sounds like a competition on the Food Network, yes? Teachers are given 10 minutes prior to the commencement of the competition to confer with their teams. No further teacher involvement is allowed, so these students are on their own
Definitely.
for the entire time. Wow. This and the judge's decision is final, of course.
Of course.
This sounds like a very exciting competition. I think people would definitely want to attend this one.
What, the schools?
The schools, parents.
No, well, tomorrow's competition is not for the public.
That's in-house.
In-house.
Yes.
The one on the 23rd.
Yes.
So if you want to go and see them in action, maybe learn a thing or two yourself. Because I'm told that these children get very creative.
Yes.
And we definitely might be able to learn a thing or two.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Well, so we already know that we have some exciting events, and we're not even halfway through the month as yet. Next is the Island Bike Ride.
Okay. Pass to
Miss Cannoneer.
Okay. Well, last year was the first year that we put together the Island Bike Ride, which was a fun experience. Myself, of course, did it first aid. I don't know about the riding around the island on a bike thing, how that would work.
It's a
but
good excuse.
yeah, but I was there for my first aid expertise, so yeah. Of course, the minister joined us. We had the advisor, Mr. Connor, was there. Mr. Liebert, he kind of pulled a few muscles or two along the way, but I was there. I'm so happy I was there. We are just trying to encourage the general public on a whole to to join us on the 12th. We have registration. It is free, no cost allotted to you. We have forms that will be in the schools, in the high schools. The officers that are for the different zones, they will take the forms there if you want to register there at the school if you're going to school. And we also have forms at our office, which is located in the Kibbe building on the 3rd floor, so you can feel free to come there, register, and I think it will be a fun event. No, I don't know about me fun, but it will be a fun event for everyone else.
Yeah, she had fun. She had fun passing in vehicles, watching some of us struggle up hills.
I was encouraging them.
Okay.
Very motivational.
Everybody has a role to play, Miss Cannoneer.
Thank you so
I
much.
understand.
I agree totally.
By the way,
Totally.
not to say that it is all a struggle uphill. Don't fear it. Everybody could do it, and you don't. I mean, if you can't make it up the hill, there are vehicles that are
There are
there to
trucks,
assist.
yeah.
You could give your bike a break, and when we get to the top or to a level, then you go along.
That's important to note.
We understand that not everybody has done this before or are in the right shape to do it at this point in time. Knock on the name. But yeah, it is a very fun experience. Last year we were able to secure bike rentals from a partner, Warner's Consulting. At this point we don't have that secured as yet. So if persons could, come with their own bikes, borrow one, beg it legally, and
Get it
we
legally.
invite everybody that can and are able-bodied enough to come out and be a part of this. It's a very fun experience and very scenic. And it's if you've never seen either side of St. Kitts, this would be a good chance to come out and see it with your family, with your friends, with people that you compete against. It's a good fun experience.
What was the participation like last year?
I think 50 something.
Wow.
Thereabout.
Yeah.
But some people
Including children.
Yeah. Including
They're
Yes.
the ones who can make it, They're the ones who can make it. Because
There
yes,
was
I
a
know
very
of
young participant. I think she was maybe 6 or 7.
Wow.
But she was there with her mom. It was her mom, right?
Father.
And her father. And yeah, they stayed in a little family group and worked with her along the way. But it was real nice to see that the younger person, or family at least, they actually came together and did that as an event for them. So
It was good. Other fathers came with their sons and things like that. And, guys came with their friends, girls came with their friends. Not everybody did the whole thing. Some joined in from community and went to another community and things like that. So the numbers fluctuated from time to time. And we welcome that. I mean, take a taste until next time, then you do the whole thing.
I think that's what I'll have to do.
Yeah?
Do it and have a tier system. Probably you're beginning from the roundabout.
at the airport roundabout.
At the airport roundabout. So I can do airport roundabout to Connery this year, and maybe next year I can extend that.
That doesn't work.
No?
Yeah, it could work, but when you go from airport to
I can do it in Spouts.
No, it's actually from airport to Bastia, so you wouldn't have to go
Airport
all the
to
way.
Bastia.
So you wouldn't have to go all the way to Connery again.
Right.
Yeah. Once you reach back to Bastia,
I
then
see.
that's enough.
Okay.
And that starts at 6. We encourage everyone to be there.
6 a.m.
Yeah, so we can leave on time and get back to Bastia
And what
at a
about
reasonable time.
those that live on the other side of the island?
For the other side of the island persons, we have a truck that will be from Public Works. It will be going around the island around 4:30. It starts picking up the bikes and persons to get them to the Connery area, so we can all be there to start off from. So if you have a bike, you can just stay on the main road and the truck will pick you up and the bikes around that time.
So at least you're facilitating many different ways for people to be involved in this particular event. So you have the pickup with the Public Works truck, and you allow for people who may not be able to make it the entire way to,
Right.
go at your own pace, as they say, and people to join from their own various communities. And
true.
it's not limited to like a registration, you register as a team or an individual, but it can become a family event, like Mr. Liber said, a group thing. Yeah, so there are lots of different ways. That one should be very interesting.
Very.
So in what capacity are you participating this year, Ms. Cannoneer?
Oh, I'm there for my lovely expertise of first aid. Thank you very much. But at this time, I just want to basically just thank KFC for coming on board with us. Last year, we did through some business there where we came back into town.
Bastia.
Yep. He has this thing about town and Bastia, but we're not going to debate that right
Be
now.
specific.
Okay, when we came to Bastia after the bike ride to the island. So this year we sort of sent letters out. We have not received all responses from everyone as yet. We're keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that they will come on board also. But we just want to thank KFC so far as they have made the commitment to do that, along with Island Purified, of course, because we can't have them going through the island, no water. So that, of course, we want to just thank them for coming on board with us this year for the Island Bike Ride.
I see here a fund day for differently abled youth. And I think it's interesting because just last week we had guests from Community and Social Development, and we were talking about how important it is to make sure that we involve, assist, and respect people who are differently abled. So I'm very pleased to see an event just for them. Can you give me an overview of what's that going to be like?
Fun.
Where does it take place? And how can someone who's interested or someone who knows somebody who might be interested get involved?
At this point, it's focused on the young people at the
Cotton
Thomas Comprehensive School.
Okay.
It's the 15th, and in the morning, from about 9 to 11, the younger students would be at the family park, having a very good time, which they did last year. In the afternoon, we'll take the older students and we'll have them at our facility at the Cable Building, and we'll split them into male, female to do different sections: skincare, cosmetology, photography, videography, and a little bit of painting, and some interaction with some motivational speakers.
I haven't mentioned videography. I think we can move straight into the event on the 16th of November, which is a filmmaking workshop.
Yes. And
Tell us more about that.
Just to make sure that I get it right, it is Maison Scène, I think.
Yes.
Maison Scène. It's a film production workshop, as you said, and it's being spearheaded by Mr. Cleon John and his team. One of our young professionals, creative persons, and he would have done some work with us and continue to do work with the Department of Youth Empowerment. He would have recently made some waves winning competition with a screen, what do you call it, but I'm not in the industry, eh?
A short film?
A short film, I think, script or screenplay. One of those things. He won him some support. I think he was one of 3 from throughout the region, and he secured assistance from some persons in the U.S. professional editors, producers, and actors from the region that are on the ground right now in St. Kitts to help him actually realize his script into a film. The script is called Jeb by Cleon John, and I would encourage everybody to go on Facebook and like the page. It's Jeb Short Film, J-E-B Short Film, on Facebook. And if you're interested in taking advantage of this opportunity to learn from the persons, the professionals, the artists, the actors, the producers, the editors who are on the ground here right now filming, we encourage you to touch base with Mr. John and register for one of only a very limited number of spaces. The workshop would start on Saturday. It's in 2 days, and on Saturday it's in the morning, and you'll actually be on the ground being part of the witnessing the production and learning from them doing it in the act. And on the 16th it's an in-house all-day training at the Department of Youth Empowerment. Mr. John's number is 662-3912. 662-3912. So if you're interested, again, like the page, Jeb Short Film on Facebook. Call Mr. John at 662-391. What did I say?
3912.
3901.
3901. Whatever I said before, scrap that. It's 662-3901. Lord, sorry. There's a lot going on. I'm getting old.
On that same date, in the evening, is the 25 Most Remarkable Teens Award Ceremony. So this is where we can go back to speak about that event. Now, it began in 2011, and I was trying to get a sneak peek of who the awardees are this year. Mr. Liebert is not budging. He had advised that I have to wait until the night of the event, like everybody else. Like everybody else. But what you can speak about, like you were doing before, is the actual process of how we got to this stage, the selection process, the criteria, and so forth.
Okay. So I should continue the previous trainer.
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
So what I was saying was, we invite the public to identify, to look about the community and identify value in young people. And that's not actually a hard thing to do, because young persons do have a whole lot of value in a number of ways. They're creative, they're kind, they're energetic. A lot of them give back to their communities, do peer education, mentorship. They go in the church, they volunteer, they course young people out of negative behavior, gang behavior. We've seen those stories over and over, and I could tell you there are ample young persons like that, and we try to recognize them every year. And we invite the public to look out, to appreciate young persons who are multifaceted, who have multiple good qualities. Nominate them, recommend them to the Department of Youth Empowerment for review. We have a selection panel who interviews every nominee, both on St. Kitts and on Nevis. And the process begins April or May. And then we begin reviewing the persons over the summer. And we have a short list of 30 persons. And we proceed from there to award them on the night, the top 25 on the night. And whole public sees them in Parliament. They get their stories read, introduced to the public, as you said, just like everybody else at the same time. Their stories are published online, and everybody could see what great young persons they are. And we expect that not only young persons would see them and emulate their good qualities, but for society to encourage them and to support them in every way possible. Thereafter, they're expected to go through a year of activities, including capacity development training, allow them to build their skills in leadership, coordination, project development, and implementation. They implement a project that serves their community, and the cycle continues, and they display what they would have done during this month of November.
Fantastic. I think so.
Did I get everything?
Yes. Okay. So we're definitely looking out for that, and that takes place on the 16th of November. And I think this is the point at which we can bring in Miss Elliott, because from the 13th to the 19th of this month is Global Entrepreneurship Week. It's been dubbed Global Entrepreneurship Week, and that is being spearheaded by Miss Elliott. So,
and her team.
So it's a Sugartown Wishlist is an agriculture-based business. So if you could tell us about that venture first, because you yourself are a young entrepreneur.
Yes. My name is Anastasia Elliott. I am co-founder of Sugartown Wishlist, which, as you said, it's an agriculture-based company here based in St. Kitts and Nevis. We have 2 brands of products, Yaffine, which is becoming very popular, and Floreal. Yaffine is our cosmetic line, and Floreal is a more condiment wine, we could say biodynamic wine and liqueurs. And those are what we do. They are all based on agriculture produce here and across the Caribbean.
So is this the first time there's a Global Entrepreneurship Week included in Youth Month?
No.
No, not necessarily, no.
But this is your first time you're involved at this level?
No.
Oh no? So how long has this been going on for? I got the impression that it was newly introduced.
No.
How long has this been going on
Global
for?
Entrepreneurship Week makes 10 years this year.
Really?
Yes. It's held across 160 countries across the globe simultaneously. This is St. Kitts' 4th year, I think.
About the 4th year.
Yes, about the 4th year participating. This is my 2nd year spearheading the events for Global Entrepreneurship Week.
So tell us what the week will entail.
Okay, for this week, the theme is No One Left Behind, Entrepreneurship for All. So we are promoting and encouraging entrepreneurship among our youth as a way to build futures, a way to build legacy, a way to give back to their communities, but also a way to help empower them and to build their capacity in whatever area they choose to go into. And so we have a series of seminars that we will be hosting geared to topics that they themselves presented to us on the needs that they see coming out of their businesses so far. And some of these topics cover regional certificates, so they want to know who can they trade with outside of St. Kitts and Nevis, what other countries they can send their products to. They want to know how do they go about starting a business here in St. Kitts and Nevis, what registration processes they need to go through, what fees are attached to that. They want to know how do they get their products on the Caribbean. So we have a topic on logistics, who will ship what where, and that sort of thing. We also have a GW mixer where they get to mix with more established business persons. They sort of create relationships, networking, learn from each other, share and learn. I have a saying, we have a saying, you go fast by yourself, but if you want to go far, you walk with others. And so that is what we're trying to foster with them.
I see here you have a session on financing and record keeping.
Yes, that is one area that I find most, and myself included, we struggle very much with keeping records. Most of us, we keep that in our heads. But to actually use like a QuickBooks or something, that takes time, and for us it takes time out of our business because we don't know accounts, so we'll be there all day for some of us. But there are easier ways of doing it, and record keeping is something that is very important for a business, especially if you're trying to seek financing for your business. If you're going to the bank or you're going for a grant or a loan or anything, record keeping, having records of your income especially is very important. And so I saw that topic as an important one to have amongst the other topics that we were proposing.
Now someone might ask, why an entire week in Youth Month, having allocated an entire week to this? What would you say?
I would say that Global Entrepreneurship Week, the name suggests that it's a week-long activity. In some countries it goes for 2 weeks. But for us, I think it's just something that we started doing, and I started need to continue it that way because it gave us time to schedule events that didn't take entrepreneurs out of their daily businesses, because that is a struggle. Taking an entrepreneur's job out of how he's making money, then they're less likely that he or she would turn up. So the week allows us to schedule what we needed to schedule around their time.
And there's so much more that could be done to not only celebrate and encourage youth entrepreneurship, but to also build capacity in a number of areas that Anna would have mentioned. That to do it justice would take so much more than a week.
Yeah.
So I think a week is a good soft spot considering. Sweet spot.
Who can attend and how do they go about registering?
Okay, Global Entrepreneurship Week it's open to any entrepreneur, regardless of age. And so basically anyone can participate in the week of events. We only have a registration for the expo, which is being held on the 24th. And you can get those registration forms from the Department of Youth. Registration fee is $50. And the expo is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it will be held on Central Street. Okay. And so for that day, the entrepreneur gets to come out and showcase their product or service to the public. The public gets to come down and support their local entrepreneurs and see who is doing what, because a lot is being done here in St. Kitts, but we're not seeing it. There are a lot of things that are available here, but we don't know it's available here, so a lot of us tend to order it online. So for me, it was the opportunity, since they can't afford to have a spot downtown where they set up shop, and they have this day where they can come out and showcase what they do.
So, if anyone is an entrepreneur, they can show up to the event or indicate that they want to attend.
Yes.
What if you're not yet an entrepreneur, but you're thinking about it, like you're leaning in that direction, or you just want to find out if you have what it takes in order to do it?
Come. I would say come to the nightly events, because those will give you all the information that you need, the grounding information that you need to start a business. So come to the nightly events. They start from 6 p.m. and we will be up at the conference room, the Department of Youth conference room, 3rd floor of the Cable Building. So come on out and participate. Just sit down. We don't have to speak if you don't want to. We're not afraid. We're not gonna jump on your throat because you're not, vocal. Listen and learn, right? And then you interact with the entrepreneurs. I have a group that I work with, and Pierre would say they're kind of scatterbrained. But I tell them that is fine, because in it they do the work that I'm asking them to
and
do.
they'll find their way.
And they find a way.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our innovation boot camp on Saturday and Sunday, and they were all over the place, but they were sticking to the point. They had the different stories based on their experiences, and that is what I want to encourage with them, that they share their experiences, so that all of them can learn together, and they can go together.
Now, it culminates with the Youth Business Expo, as you said. Is there anything additional you can tell us? It says that it takes place from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on 4th and Central Street.
Yes.
So when you say Central Street, we're talking about which section? From 4th Street leading into Central Street?
Yes, that's what we
in the direction of National Bank?
Yes.
That's where we're aiming from.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
but there are other security and traffic things that need to get sorted out. But ideally, that's the spot we want.
okay. So until that is finalized, it's tentative.
Yes, it's happening.
The expo is happening for sure.
Definitely happening.
Yes.
But on which street we can block off?
That's tentative. Yes, we understand.
Okay.
Understand completely. So what can we expect if I turn up? Is it going to be all the entrepreneurs who would have participated in Global Entrepreneurship Week, or can someone be involved even though they didn't attend?
Someone can be involved even though they didn't attend. We have a young lady who is registering, and she's from Brazil. She's an artist from Brazil. She heard about the event and she called me up and she was like, "Can I participate?" And I said, "Sure." More power to you and more power for us. I mean, to have that dynamic coming forward. I think that it's a good boost for the group and for the other entrepreneurs who come out and they see someone from a different background and how they operate. It's sort of helps them as well.
You mentioned the group. You want to tell them about the group?
Sure. All right. A group of young entrepreneurs, they're between the age of 18 to 35. We have come together and we have decided that we want to create a sort of association geared towards youth in entrepreneurship. Right now what we're doing with the group, we have a draft constitution. We're going through it to sort of tighten it up to do what we wanted to do for us collectively. We don't have an official name as yet. But right now we're inviting other entrepreneurs who want to participate. They can come on. We have a meeting this afternoon at 4:30, again at the Department of Youth conference room. We'll be there from about 4:30 to 6. So they can come by. We'll be talking about GEW, we'll be talking about the Constitution, how we can fix it, making adjustments as we go. We hope to have our board in place by January. Yes. And so we're meeting every Wednesday until that point, until we get it sorted out.
So even in talking about Youth Month, we find out about other things that's happening with our young people. And I wish you and your group all the very best, and we hope to hear more about you in the near future.
Thank you, and you will.
So at this stage, we are going to open the phone lines if anyone has anything they'd like to say to the panelists or suggest. Maybe you have a question about an event that we've already spoken about, or maybe there's an event you heard about you'd like to ask about it as well. Feel free to do so if you have a question about Global Entrepreneurship Week while Miss Elliott is here. I'm told she might have to sneak out shortly. You can put your questions or suggestions to her. The local number is 465-2555. That's 465-2555. And the overseas line is 718-577-2918. That number again is 718-577-2918. And this is the Working For You program. So we'll move forward to the 21st. Oh, before we get to the 21st, the 19th. Can you just give us an overview of the event that takes place on the 19th?
Well, there are two of them. One is a play put on by Ponciana Theatre Production. And I'm told that it's a very exciting, fun, and meaningful experience that has a powerful message.
The topic?
And the topic is, the name of the play is When Men Talk About Sex. It's at Isisibi, starting at, is it 6 p.m.? And tickets can be purchased from any member of that group for, I think, about $40. And we encourage everybody to go out and support that group, support their efforts, support their messaging, and take in the fun, laughter, and enjoy a good show. On that same day, though, you might realize that as part of Global Entrepreneurship, there's a Mixer Entrepreneurship Week. There's a Mixer and official closing reception that the group would be hosting. I think we would also need to be registered and invited to that event also, because it's for young entrepreneurs and persons in business who are interested in networking with those young entrepreneurs. So if you are listening right now and you want to get to know what our young persons do, if you're in business and you're seeking services from Miss Elliott or any of her colleagues in graphic design and retailing or whatsoever, you should give her a shout and see how you could be a part of that if she would be so kind. But that happens at Christoph Harbour. I have to give them commendations and appreciation for coming on board and facilitating this initiative and supporting our young entrepreneurs.
And then on the 21st is the first ever Ministers Youth Forum.
Yes, ma'am.
What can you share with us about that?
That it would be lovely.
It's going to be held at the Ocean Terrace Inn. It's from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And in his address to officially mark the start of Youth Month, Minister of Youth Sean Richards said that it would be an opportunity for young people to have a discussion with policymakers, because too often they're left out of that decision-making process and decisions are made that will affect them. So this is an opportunity for them to share some of their concerns and suggestions with policymakers, and it's the first time that's going to be happening. So then we move into the 24th. The event's happening on the 24th, and this is another big day. It is the day that the Youth Business Expo is being held, but there are two additional events on that day that we didn't mention before, so we can talk about those now.
Yes. It's the Youth Month March and Rally, with the young persons from various schools, organizations, and so forth would march through the streets of Bastia, making a lot of lovely noise, so that the persons in Bastia could recognize and appreciate that young people are here, and we need to be recognized. Did I say we? Yes. They need to be recognized. Yeah, I was recently ejected from the group.
It was coming.
Yes.
I hope you're prepared for it.
Not really. But yeah, they would be marching through the streets of Bastia starting at 9 a.m. and they would culminate at Independence Square, where we would have a rally, and the youth group fair get involved, where you would be able to see groups that are available, registered in St. Kitts, that young persons could be involved in, that parents and other members of society could support in what they do, and so forth, interact with them. So it's a thick day, and there's a lot for people to come and see and to engage with young people, from volunteers, sports persons, business persons, school persons. You engage with them productively.
So this youth group fair allows people to see the groups that are registered with the Youth Empowerment Department. So if I'm a mother and I'm interested in getting my child involved in some sort of club or activity, I can almost shop around at this group fair. And it's the same for young people who may not even be aware of what's happening in the communities. If they too want to get involved, and this is something we spoke about last week as well, volunteerism and young people getting more involved in their communities. So that was from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on that day.
And if your group hasn't received information as yet, if it went to an inactive email address or so forth, do feel free to contact the Department of Youth Empowerment as soon as possible to secure yourself a spot. The number is 662-6054. 662-6054, or come up to the department on the top floor of the Cable building and speak with Ms. Lapsey.
Mr. Lapsey. Now from the 24th we go to the 26th, which is the High School Choir Fest.
Amen.
That's one that's really close to you, Mr. Library. He said, yeah man, like God.
Yeah, that's a big showdown. That's a big shindig.
Bastia High School is the defending champions for that one.
For now. Yeah.
Bastia High School doesn't let go of titles so easily either.
We don't.
Yeah, that's why it requires.
That's right.
No, that's true. That's why it requires a good portion of licks in order for them to let it go.
So tell us about that event. Tell us about that event.
Yeah, don't encourage me to be biased.
Any further? Okay.
It's the High School Choir Fest, the Pamela Wall Raise Your Voices High School Choir Fest, and it takes place at the ECCB, so Cecil Jacobs Auditorium, from 5 p.m. on Sunday the 26th of November this month. Do not miss it. It's a chance to witness the melodious voices and creative presentations, compositions, and visual spectacular that was last year. But I expect it to be better, because and I must be honest, I knew that it would have been good last year when we did it and we made it competition form, but didn't expect it to be so much fun. And I'm not sure that the audience, the raucous but deeply engaged audience that showed up, expected it to be as fun. And it was a very good, high-spirited, high-energy, and exhilarating performance. I think I'm turning into our special advisor now. He was very excited about it as well, and he could describe it in all manner of ways. And all the schools came out, even those that would have just recently formed a choir. They had a few numbers. They came out and they gave a good presentation, and the audience did appreciate it. Competition was hard. But Bastia, I must admit, they came out swinging, and they did a very good presentation. And they came out on top. Granted, Sandy Point was not there last year, but this year they're in it. No, you asked for the facts, and I'm sharing them. But yes, we expect it to be stiff competition this year, and tickets are available from each school that is participating. And they're only $20, or you could come to the Department of Youth Empowerment, top floor Cable building, and acquire one of those tickets to make sure that you're part of that experience. And it's intended again to provide a platform for young persons to get engaged, to develop their capacity, their own ability, and to be celebrated for it. Because I'm pretty sure that those young persons, when they spend their mornings, their afternoons, their weekends in a group, positively developing and shaping and using their voices, they have no time to be doing things like drugs, gangs, and those sort of things. So this sort of activities is what we really need to see more of. And the prizes that they win are $1,000, $700, $500, going down top to third. And that money goes to supporting their music programs. And that money comes from ticket sales. So come out and support your school, cheer them on, make sure that they get some resources to continue the good work that they're doing. And a portion of every ticket sold by a school also goes towards the school to support the music program. So it's not just for fun. but it's fun and development and encouragement and celebration of our young persons. So make sure you buy a ticket to come to this event.
Fantastic. So if you have a call, our phone lines are open for now. You can dial 465-2555. That's 465-2555, or our overseas line is 718-577-2918. That's 718-577-2918. And according to the information I have here, there will be 2 rounds.
Yes, ma'am.
Round 1 is a cappella, no instruments allowed. And round 2 is the medley round, and instruments and instrumental accompaniment and props are allowed for that one. So I can't be biased. I'm gonna wish all schools all the very best. May the best team win. And I'm sure the best team will. Pamela Wall, by the way, was our choir director when I attended the Bastia High School. It's because of her I know the school song. So I know she's been involved in music for a very long time. So it's nice to know she's involved with this initiative as well.
Very nice lady, very enthused, very energetic, very excited about doing this, and she has a special award that she would be awarding to one of the schools.
Fabulous.
A school that deserves it based on her observations.
So that's the 2nd annual High School Choir Fest on the 26th of November. Then there's a Parliament sitting that takes place on the 29th. That is usually organized by the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association, also referred to as CANIPO. And it's from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. I wasn't able to find out what they will be tabling this year.
Gotta be something good.
Of course. But we're going to hear more about that soon, I'm sure.
I was unable to tell you that though. It's a lot going on.
And that is something that they usually would do every youth month. Have that special youth month sitting, and that's always very interesting to watch, because sometimes, well, all times, the level of engagement and discussion and debate between these young people can get real intense sometimes, but they always manage to maintain a certain level of professionalism in their discourse, and that's quite impressive and admirable. And that brings us around to the 30th of November, your final event, the Youth Service Reception.
Yes, ma'am. This is a culmination of the month of activities.
We have a call? Okay, we have a phone call.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to our program.
Hi, good afternoon. I'd just like to commend all the initiatives for the youth for this month. I think it's something good, considering how some of our youths have been badmouthed lately. But there's one thing, the lady that was speaking about the association they're trying to form, she kind of rattled it off. I'm trying to find out exactly where, when and where, the time, when she said they meet.
Well, she's right here listening still, so you want to know when they meet, where they meet, and you want more information on what the association is about?
I think I got the gist of it, but I don't know if it's at the radio station, but it kept repeating what I was saying for a while, and it got kind of distracting.
Okay.
So if she could just repeat that part for me.
Okay.
So she's right here. Go ahead, Miss Allen.
So we meet at 4:30 this afternoon. Upstairs, the cable building, 3rd floor, into the Department of Youth conference room. So you can come by, have a discussion with us, and we can fill you in on what we're about and what we're trying to achieve. Okay?
Hello?
Actually, a couple of us were trying to start something like that, but one of the members recently died, so that kind of went on the back burner.
Okay.
And so I might pop in and see what y'all are to.
Okay, and is it? Do you meet at a particular time?
Yes.
Consistently?
We meet every Wednesday at 4:30 at the same place.
Okay, thank you.
So if you're not able to make it today,
she can come next week. Yeah.
Next week, Wednesday, 4:30,
Next week,
3rd floor.
GEW will be in the middle of a session.
Yeah, I have a contact number. Who to contact?
763-3241.
763.
3241.
And Colin, remember there's the Global Entrepreneurship Week events taking place next week, so I don't know if they'll be meeting.
Sure, that's who the contact person is.
Yes. So, and if you're interested, you can attend those sessions, I think, as well.
The number she gave me, who is that person? That's what I'm asking.
That's me, Anna, A-N-A.
Anna?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're
All right,
welcome.
thank you so much. So thank you, caller. If there's anyone else who would like anything else clarified, feel free to call and ask a question, 465-2555 or 718-577-2918. And we've talked about, in addition to entrepreneurship events about youth service, the island bike ride, the fun day for differently abled youth, the filmmaking workshop, the 25 Most Remarkable Teen Award ceremony, the play, the Ministers Youth Forum, the high school chef competition, the high school choir fest, Youth Month March, the group fair, the Youth Business Expo. There's just so much happening. I want to ask about support. And we're gonna.
Yeah, well, I think I neglected to include an activities, and I have to commend the St. Kitts and Nevis Comprehensive Disaster Management Youth Ambassadors, spearheaded by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. They just launched and inducted their members this morning, and I have to commend them for that. This has been years coming, and I expect to see some great things coming out of that group. I apologize for not having them on the official calendar. But again, you might recognize that the calendar has a number of different events, some that we encourage, some we support, some we facilitate, some we do. Youth Month is not just for the Department of Youth Empowerment, but for the whole country, whole society to be a part of celebrating. And we welcome you. Let us know what you're doing so that we could coordinate and support you as much as we can.
So similar to the play, if someone else is hosting an event, they can get it on the calendar.
Yeah, man, after we discuss.
Of course.
Yeah, as long as you're a faithful partner, we could vouch for you, and let's make that happen.
Okay, we were speaking about the youth service reception.
Yes, speaking of those partners, we have a lot of volunteers, a lot of sponsors, contributors, persons that facilitate a number of the initiatives that we do over the year. And this not only culminates the month of activities, but ultimately the year of implementing activities. And it's an opportunity for us to recognize our most valuable partners over the year, and to recap the successes that we had in the year previous, and to commit ourselves to even greater successes in the year to come. Okay? So again, it's intended to recognize our most outstanding partners, contributors, volunteers, supporters, well-wishers, and so forth, who made the success that we had in 2017 possible. That said, we encourage more persons to be so labeled. So, if you would not have been a major factor supporting the efforts of the Department of Youth Empowerment and its partners in the year, then there's a good chance that you wouldn't be a part of this initiative. So, we encourage you again and again. Young people and the development of young people is important. So, this might be a perk and a plus at the end of the year, but ultimately, we all benefit when young persons take positive roles and are able to contribute successfully to the growth.
I noticed there's no venue here for that one. Is that intentional?
Christoph Harlow.
Okay.
Christoph Harlow.
And that one is invitation only?
Invitation only.
Of course.
Okay.
So you're going to have your final event thanking the people who have worked with you throughout the year. Understandably so, because I wanted to ask about support. Clearly, this is going to be a very taxing event, taxing in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Taxing on your staff, taxing on your resources. What kind of support do you usually get, or have you been getting so far for Youth Month activities?
It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. Yeah, to tell you the truth. We've had some very good successes, and a few disappointments. And we do hope over time to turn those disappointments into successes. But at this point, we'll run with the successes. I'll say that we're fairly pleased with the level of support that we were able to secure over the past few months to ensure that we have these activities. Youth Month has been growing, and we're content with that. And we expect that with ongoing work, and with ongoing engagement and awareness of the public and private sector, that persons would see it fit to contribute more and to partner with us more, to do more themselves, to ensure that young persons are celebrated, encouraged, and able to attain their highest potential. So we are pleased, and we expect to be more pleased going forward.
So as the acting director, what would, at the end of Youth Month, what would you have hoped to have achieved?
A number of things. Ultimately, we want to achieve greater participation. We want to hammer it home, massage it in nicely into the minds of persons that young people are here. They're not going anywhere. Some of them might get older every now and again, but we'll always have a continuous stream of young people that have intrinsic value and potential that we all need to recognize, encourage, and celebrate at every chance we get. It's just that Youth Month is specifically designated for those young persons who didn't do that the other months prior. Make sure you get it in this year and commit to doing it next year. We want to strengthen the activities that we have and add to it. We want to build on the network and resources that we have and add to it, and to progress the mainstreaming of young people for years to come.
So what would you like to tell adults maybe?
Come out and support. Encourage your young persons. Participate in each of these events as much as possible, because we need it. The young people need it, and believe it or not, you need it as well, for a number of reasons. If every young person right now today ends up crazy, delinquent, unproductive, you may not have a very good retirement when it's your time to retire, because those dominoes do fall. So let's make sure that we stack them right, and then you play a part in making sure that they're stacked right. Don't sit around saying, them young people, this and that. Oh, I got better things to do with my time and my money. Invest a little in ensuring that our young person, our future is secure.
I always like to hear about people's experiences. So are there any experiences that you or Ms. Canania can share with us in having executed this event every year?
Which one?
You choose. So, insights as to some highs, some lows.
Well, for me, I have worked with one of our past employees, which is Ms. Sharika Weaver, with the 25 Most Remarkable Teen, and I can tell you for that event, leading up to the event, it has been a mind opener. It has been mind blowing. For some of the things that these children are actually, we know that the children are remarkable. We know that they're there in the country, but if someone don't pinpoint it to us, we don't know about them. Some of them, we think that we have to give a child an award because they're just excellent in education alone. It's not just that. Different categories. There might be something within their community. They are going out in the community. They might be helping an elderly, taking a food hamper, a food basket, helping them trim their fences, looking out for them after the hurricane. It's just simple things. But somebody saw that they were remarkable in that, and not because they have like 6, 7, 8 subjects. We're gonna say, oh, this is a remarkable team for this year. So no. So leading up to that, it has been a wonderful experience, I can tell you as much. Continuing to work with Miss David as she now has that project. It has been. Last year we commended, we had a lot more males. We were thankful for that, because then we see the males are actually shining now, and first thing society is saying, oh, the young men are this and the young men are that, but we see that we have remarkable young men in our community, in our country, St. Kitts and Nevis. We just have to look for them, pinpoint them, work with them, and that's what we want to continue to do. Work with the young people, bring out the best ability that they have inside of them, because then if we leave them by the wayside, we're just like everybody's giving up on them, so we're going to do the same thing. We're here to make a difference. So that's my baby for the remarkable teens, definitely. So
thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
And what are some of the things that you'd like to see or you wish would happen
within our department, within the country?
Within the country, as it relates to the initiatives that you have and you try to execute.
Within the country, I do believe that persons, I have to say persons, we as persons within the community, I do not think that we do enough when it comes to the young people. The most we do, we are quick to throw up our hands and say, you know what, that's it, I wipe my hand, I wash my hands, because it don't seem to be getting any better. I have a passion for youth. I think that's why I've been here so long at that. Sometimes my boss at one time told me that, you know what, I think you get a little bit too sentimental or a little bit too emotional. I do. I'm very emotional when it comes to it. I really don't like to set them on the wrong path. But I can't do everything everything to make a difference at the same time. It takes time, but it's not to give up on them. So within our community, within St. Kitts and Nevis, I would just like for adults, for persons, for us to at least try to be there, try to be more supportive of the youths and things that they do. So in order to say, you know what, there's somebody standing behind me. So if I fall, they're there to catch me and lead me forward, continue on that path. And not that if I fall, then I'm just there and there's no one, everybody has given up on me. I just think our community on a whole just needs to be a little bit more supportive of the youths and things that they do. Not all of them are bad children. Not all of them are bad. So we have things that they want to do that is positive, but without the support. So it's just a little bit of more support. Some of them do need, of course, their financial support also. So we're just asking persons to just be there and be more supportive.
Mr. Liburd.
Next time she coming alone.
And she sat so quietly there in the corner. She has all this passion just bottled up. So, what can you share with us about some of the highlights of your work?
For the month, overall?
Overall.
Highlights. Well, I usually take it a day at a time and as it comes and deal with every issue as its own unique experience. But to point out highlights. Every opportunity I get to make a difference in the life of a young person to me is a plus and a highlight. That said, I have to choose particular types of instances. It's those times when you're walking down the road and you're minding your own business. In fact, I do mine very fast, but when a young person managed to slow you down and stop you and say, thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for what you and your team did for me, because it put my head on my shoulder and now I'm able to see my path and choosing a right path and sticking to it. Those moments do stand out and make me feel good about the years that I've invested in and the gray hairs that are now coming in. Those are the highlights for me, and that keeps me doing what I could do to change more lives.
And what would you like to see moving forward?
I would like to be able to do more, to change more lives. I'd like to be able to rally and put in more resources, coordinate with more partners to reach more young persons more effectively across St. Kitts and Nevis.
Oh, we have a call. Welcome to Working For You. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Jackie, and the rest of your guests there.
Yes.
I'm here around the galley, I'm cooking, but I'm listening to you all. And in spite of all that, the plans that they have for the youth, and I heard one the guest said that the youth, them always being bad talk. Well, bad talk is not good, but I think the first thing we're supposed to teach youths is the basic principles of life, which is respect themselves and respect others and have manners everywhere they go, and everything else will fall in place. Whatsoever they pursue in life, it will fall in place. Once you have respect for yourself, respect for others, good behavior, and you teach them the dangers of life that they could encounter each day if they do this and if they don't do that. So, like I said, I'm not going to repeat, but the first thing, like in school, when I was small and we go to school, the first thing we do in school when we get in there, we had morning devotion. And in the morning devotion, somebody has to go up and read the Testament. And from there, you know, that they what you call embedded in us principles of life and values of life. And today, a lot of us who went that school, we are living that kind of life. But you know, people say time change, but principle and good manners don't change. So thanks for listening.
And thank you for calling, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Feedback?
I do believe exactly what he was saying, but in saying all of that, I do believe that starts in the homes. It starts in the homes. You in your home, you could say majority of the time, your parents are supposed to, you know, everywhere you go. When I was growing up, I was with my grandmother, but my grandmother always taught me, you walk down the road, it doesn't matter if you have to pass 15 persons, you say good morning every time you pass those persons. Now these days, some persons, as grown as I am, I still do that same thing. Some persons wouldn't answer, but I keep saying the same thing. And it so happened that one morning I passed and I didn't say good morning to this old man, and he was like, so you're not saying good morning this morning to me? And I said, oh, he was actually listening, but he did not respond. So I just thought, you know what, I'm not saying it this morning because he's not, but he was actually looking forward to me saying that. Some of the children, manners starts in the home. And of course, he said time changes, but I do not think that is something that should be changing. Manners, wherever you go, you should have respect for yourself and for the elders, because you cannot go to a job place to try to get a job for anyone to help you and you do not have respect for yourself or for the person that you're going to. So he has some good things in saying that. It's not all about what we do. Yes, what we do this, but we have to remember that you have to have a little bit of respect somewhere along the line, because it's not going to get you anywhere for you to be rude and disrespectful.
True. I don't disagree with most of what was said, but ultimately respect goes both ways, and we would have conducted some research particularly to inform the policy. And one of the things that young persons would have indicated they value above all else is respect. And we may have different interpretations of respect, but what we as adults need to appreciate is that we need to be respectful of the young persons as well. And simply because they may not act or look or seem in a manner that falls perfectly in line with your expectations and what you want to see of them immediately, it doesn't give you the right to, you know, reflexively accost them or to abuse them or put them down or discard them under your voice to somebody else, or watching them in the corner of your eye. That doesn't help them grow. It doesn't help the intergenerational connection or transfer of morals. It doesn't help the respect between those. It doesn't help the society move forward any sooner. What it does help is to solidify in the minds of those young persons that society doesn't care about me, doesn't respect me, is ostracizing me. What the hell? I don't care either. Let me go take your money. You follow me, right? So, yes, respect is important, and we do expect that young persons would expect themselves and respect others, but it's also expected of the adults in society as well. They don't come up, young people don't appear magically, they don't evolve in a void. We need to impart, we need to encourage certain values in them, as opposed to immediately accosting them and we don't see what we expect.
I want to thank our callers for participating. We're almost out of time for the program. This would be your final main event for the year. Public event. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, the other things would be internal. Mm-hmm. And so, moving into the new year, what are some of the wishes? What's on your wish list for the new year? Well, we wish that we're able to generate and mobilize a greater pool of resources and engage with more stakeholders to get more boots on the ground in various communities addressing issues affecting the community and young people. Is that vague and clear enough? Yes, it is.
Yeah, we have plans. Are we putting in place?
And I think you, having said that, you're also planning on launching a volunteer corps?
I wasn't going to say nothing. But yes. Yes.
You did tell her about it.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much, Miss Cannoneer. Yeah. As my witness, I have it written in my notes.
Yeah, actually,
that you did say you would mention it.
We should have been launched already, but there are a few key things that haven't fallen in places yet. But we're just about ready to get young people on the ground volunteering.
But give us an idea of what that would be about exactly.
It's about providing an opportunity for young persons who are so willing but don't see opportunity to invest their time and energy in volunteer service for the community. So research also pointed out that a lot of young persons say they want to volunteer, but they don't know how, they don't know where, when to render the service. This provides an opportunity for them to register with the youth department as part of our volunteer corps. We would identify projects, programs, and so that we could use their particular skills in and assign them to render their service. We also welcome the public, NGOs, organizations to solicit the support the services of volunteers through the Department of Youth Empowerment, and we would so assign according to what and who is available.
So this is just a group of people who are pretty much on standby for whenever there's an opportunity to assist.
Yeah. Consider us a temp agency for volunteers, sort of, that particular program, if it clears it up any.
Okay.
Okay.
In closing, what would you like to say to our listeners and our viewers and leave in their minds before you go?
This is Youth Month. Have a happy Youth Month. Celebrate our young persons. Encourage them in every way that you could. Come out and support the initiatives, especially those on the 24th and the 26th.
Ms. Cannoneer?
And the 12th.
The 12th, which is the Island Bike Ride.
Yes.
And the 12th.
Yeah.
And remember, you can register for the Island Bike Ride by contacting the Youth Empowerment Department.
That is correct.
And the number there is 662-6054. They've recently moved to the 3rd floor of the Cable Building, in case you need to drop by.
Lovely office space, I might add.
Yes, I'm told your office space allows you to do things you couldn't do before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we having meeting and training sessions and up there on a regular basis now. Miss Elliott just told you. Yeah, man, we up there.
It's sexy.
On the top floor.
So you can always visit them. They have a lot of flyers to hand out. So if you need to have the calendar or a list of the events for Youth Month with you at all times, or to stick up on your refrigerator, or to take a photo of, so you can keep it on your phone, you can go there and take a picture of that.
Or on Facebook, St. Kitts Department of Youth Empowerment.
Or on Facebook, yes. St. Kitts
Department of Youth Empowerment.
That's a very easy way as well. Social media.
Yes.
It's very fast. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on today's program and sharing all of this really exciting information with us. Youth Month has already started off on a really high note. We know it's going to finish on an even higher note, and you have so many events that cater to so many different people. I will look into a bike for the Island Bike Ride. I make no promises at this moment.
After we gave you all those options?
Yes, but at the end of the day, if the bicycle is just not there, I'm unable to
You could run.
Beg your pardon?
Same principle apply. The truck is there.
We'll look into that. But of course, I say that to encourage as many people as possible for the Island Bike Ride. It's a different activity, and it promises to be a very fun activity.
Yes.
And then Global Entrepreneurship Week on the 13th. So these are for next week, the 13th to the 19th, for anybody who is already an entrepreneur or considering entering that particular arena. The 13th to the 19th, the registration is free. You got to take advantage of these things while they're there. And the play on the 19th, the filmmaking workshop on the 16th, the 25 Most Remarkable Teen Awards ceremony on the 16th as well. So all of these things are going to be taking place over the course of the week. I also have to make a plug for the St. Kitts Nevis Information Service. The Youth Month calendar of events can also be found on our website. If you go to sknis.kn, it's right there on the front page on the right hand side in the upper right hand corner, so you definitely can find it on our website as well. So having said that, Working For You is carried live every Wednesday on ZIZ, Win FM and Sugar City Rock from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. and is rebroadcast on Freedom FM from 7:30 to 9 a.m. on Thursday, and also on Thursday again on Vaughan Radio from 10:30 to 12 p.m. and the program will be loaded on our YouTube channel, of course, like we usually would. My name is Jacqueline Bryan. I was your host for today. Take care.
Working For You, a weekly talk radio program which highlights developments of national interest and the activities of your St. Kitts Nevis government. Join host Lesroy Williams as he presents news, views, reports, and interviews about everything regarding the activities of the Team Unity government and the building of our communities and the development of St. Kitts Nevis. Tune in and call in to interact with your government and share your views regarding the upward forward development of your community and our beautiful Twin Island Federation. Working For You is weekly, every Wednesday live from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on ZIZ Radio, Win FM, and Sugar City FM with rebroadcast on participating stations. Working For You.